What if I told you that a small squeal or a faint tick coming from your engine isn't just annoying, it's a countdown? 9 specific sounds are covered in this video, and each one maps directly to a mechanical failure that gets worse every single mile you drive. Some of them start soft and subtle, and then one day the noise stops because the part that was making it has completely seized or shattered. You won't believe how fast a manageable fix turns into a full component replacement once you cross the wrong threshold. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 1 grinding noise when braking. First up is the grinding noise when you hit the brakes, and most people hear it and think, okay, I'll deal with it next month. But that's where the real damage starts. The grinding isn't just worn pads anymore, it's the steel backing plate scraping directly against your rotor because the friction material is completely gone. Every time you brake after that point, you're cutting grooves into the rotor, so a rotor that could have been saved with a $30 set of pads now needs full replacement, running $200 to $400 per axle. Did you know rotor damage from metal-on-metal contact can happen in just a few hundred miles? Wait long enough and the caliper seizes. The rotor warps from uneven heat, and at highway speeds, a seized caliper can pull the car hard to one side. Number 2. Knocking or pinging from the engine. Engine knock is the sound that makes experienced mechanics go quiet for a second, because it almost never points to something small. That rhythmic metallic knock that speeds up with the engine RPM means something inside is hitting something it shouldn't, and the most common cause is rod knock, where the bearing between the connecting rod and the crankshaft wears down and the rod starts slapping the crank journal with every rotation. At idle, it's a dull thud, but push the throttle and it gets faster and louder fast. Did you know rod knock from oil starvation can go from a faint tap to complete engine failure in under 500 miles? There's also pinging, a higher-pitched knock during acceleration that points to detonation, where the fuel-air mixture ignites in multiple spots at once instead of one controlled burn, and that uncontrolled pressure cracks piston crowns and can punch a hole straight through the piston. Catch pinging early and switching to higher-octane fuel sometimes fixes it entirely. But rod knock caught late means you're pulling the engine, and a replacement runs $8,000 or more. Number 3. Squealing when you start the car. That startup squeal is easy to ignore because it fades after a few seconds, and the car drives fine, so you figure it sorted itself out. It didn't. What you're hearing is the serpentine belt slipping on the pulleys, and that one belt drives your alternator, power steering pump, water pump, and AC compressor all at once. So when it snaps, every single one of those systems dies together. Cold mornings make the squeal louder because rubber stiffens in the cold, then softens as the engine warms up, which is exactly why it tricks you into thinking it's fine. A replacement belt runs $75 to $200 and takes about 30 minutes. A snapped belt on the highway means a tow, a belt, and potentially a head gasket repair if the engine overheated before you pulled over. Number 4. Hissing under the hood. With a hissing sound under the hood, when you hear it matters as much as the sound itself, because the timing splits this into 2 completely different problems with very different price tags. Hissing while the engine runs almost always means a vacuum leak, where a cracked hose or failed seal lets outside air sneak into the intake system. Your engine's computer calibrates the fuel mixture based on air coming through the throttle body, so unmetered air throws that calculation off completely, and you get rough idle misfires, and a check engine light pointing at codes that look like something else entirely. Hissing right after shutdown points to coolant escaping a pressurized cooling system. Do not open the radiator cap if you see steam, because the system is still pressurized and scalding coolant will spray out. A $5 vacuum hose caught early beats a $1,500 head gasket repair by a long stretch. Number 5. Clicking when turning the steering wheel. That clicking or popping during a slow turn, like pulling into a parking spot or doing a U-turn, is almost always a CV joint, and people dismiss it as something loose rattling around when it's actually a joint that's already failing. CV stands for constant velocity, and the CV joint lets your front axle transmit power to the wheel while the wheel turns left and right for steering. It's packed in grease and sealed by a rubber boot, and once that boot cracks, the grease leaks out and road grit gets in fast. The clicking is the joint's internal ball bearing skipping because the lubrication is gone and the tolerances have worn loose. Replacing just the boot early runs $150 to $300. Wait until the joint itself is destroyed and you're paying $300 to $600 per side for a full axle shaft. And if the joint separates while you're driving, the repair crosses $1,000 because the wheel hub and transmission output take damage too. Number 6. Loud roaring from the exhaust. If your car suddenly sounds twice as loud as it used to, especially under acceleration, your exhaust system has sprung a leak. And where that leak sits determines whether you've got a noise problem or a health risk sitting in your cabin. When a pipe rusts through or a gasket blows, combustion gases escape before reaching the muffler, and those gases carry carbon monoxide. You won't believe how fast it builds up inside the cabin, roughly 20 to 30 minutes with the windows up. A headache, some dizziness, feeling tired, and most people just blame a long day. Repairs run $100 for a simple patch up to $1,200 for a full system replacement. And if the roaring appeared overnight, check whether your catalytic converter is still there before booking anything. Number 7. Whining noise while accelerating. A whining sound that climbs in pitch as you accelerate can come from 3 completely different systems, and which one it's coming from changes the repair cost by thousands of dollars, so it's worth paying attention to when exactly it happens. The most common source is the transmission, and a whine there usually means the fluid is low or degraded. Transmission fluid lubricates the gears and clutch packs while also acting as the hydraulic fluid that controls gear changes. So when it breaks down, both functions fail together. You get a whine, then slipping, then the transmission stops shifting entirely. A transmission fluid flush runs $100 to $200 caught early. Ignore it until the clutch packs burn out and you're looking at $2,500 to $5,000 for a rebuild or replacement. Number 8. Clunking when shifting gears. A clunk you feel through the seat as much as hear. When the transmission shifts is something mechanics take seriously immediately, because it means something in the drivetrain has too much play and metal is moving when it shouldn't be. In an automatic, a clunk on the 1 to 2 shift or dropping into drive can point to worn transmission mounts, where the whole transmission rocks against the chassis every time the load changes. A failing torque converter is worse, because it can shed metal debris straight through the entire transmission. Transmission mount replacement runs $150 to $400. A torque converter replacement starts at $600, and if it's already contaminated the fluid, the whole transmission gets inspected too. On rear-wheel drive vehicles, a worn U-joint can drop the drive shaft onto the road at highway speed, and that's a crash, not a repair. Number 9. Ticking or tapping from the engine. Engine ticking gets dismissed more than any other sound on this list, partly because some engines tick quietly at startup and people just get used to it. But there's a specific tick that means oil isn't reaching the top of the valve train, and that one destroys engines slowly while the driver assumes everything's fine. The valve train runs the camshaft, rocker arms, and valve lifters, and all of those parts need pressurized oil constantly. When oil pressure drops from a low level, a worn pump or sludge blocking the passages, the lifters start ticking because the hydraulic cushion is gone. At 2,000 revolutions per minute, that impact repeats 33 times per second. Did you know a collapsed lifter can cost $1,500 to fix, but if it bends a valve, you're into $4,000 because the cylinder head comes off? Every sound on this list started small, and every single one had a cheap fix at that stage. A $30 set of pads, a $150 CV boot, a $100 transmission fluid service. The only thing that turned those cheap fixes into $3,000 engine rebuilds and $5,000 transmission replacements was miles driven while ignoring the noise. Your car won't send you an email when something's wrong, so these sounds are the only warning system you get. Master technician Bogie Latiner puts it plainly. By the time you're hearing something, it's already gotten bad. Don't forget to subscribe and get that car checked before the sound disappears, because silence usually means the part's already gone.